Judging from various circumstances, Silla occupied the Liaodong Peninsula and southern Manzhou until Bohai became strong. It is an absurd logic that the territory of Silla, which won in the Xin-Tang War, is reduced more than it was before the unification of the three kingdoms. The Japanese government general of Korea intentionally imprisoned Silla's unification of the three kingdoms within the Korean peninsula. The ill will of Japanese empire is so blatantly visible. In March 6, 70 AD, the 20,000 strong allied army led by Silla General Seol Mo-yu and Goguryeo General Go Yun-mu crossed the Yarlui River and attacked Tang military base in Manzhou. With this, the war between Silla and Tang began. Silla was able to take the lead in the war by winning the first battle. Afterwards, when the Tang army came in large numbers, the allies retreated for a while and stayed at 백섬, 바이청, 삼국사기 신라본기 제6편 문관편. Afterwards, the Silla and Tang dynasty fought fierce battles in various places including Anxi Fortress, Liaodong, and Liaoxi. If Andong Duhufu of the Tang dynasty, the Japanese government general of Korea had fabricated, was located in present Pyongyang, North Korea capital city, how can our troops cross the Yarlui River without a rumor to reach the Tang dynasty military base in Liaodong? Is it possible? It's impossible. How can allies fight enemy in the front when the enemy is behind them? At that time, the Tang army fought against Silla for 7 years, and then one day they suddenly flee to Chang'an in a hurry. If two countries are fighting, facing each other, and one side turned its back, doesn't the side that turned its loss? The reason is that at that very time, the cavalry unit led by Tibetan hero Sung Chen Kampo came down like a thunderbolt, targeting Chang'an, the capital city of Tang dynasty. The Tang dynasty, which had usually ignored Tibet and called it a barbarian country, was surprised by the angry spirit of the Tibetan cavalry led by Sung Chen Kampo and hurriedly summoned the Tang army. After that, the Tang was never able to cross the border of Silla again. So if that is not Tang losing, what is it? After unifying the three countries after hard work, the weak country Silla waged a 7-year war with the Tang dynasty and defeated the great Tang dynasty with the indomitable spirit. Where in the world is it said that a country that won a war gave land to a country that lost? Don't you know that war is about eating land? There is clear evidence like this. When you try to justify the colonization by forcibly moving the Silla border to the Pyongyang, capital city of North Korea, and planting a view of peninsula in us. And your colonial policy has been somewhat successful. Now 90% of Korean history professors at universities in South Korea have become puppet of Japanese government and dance to your rhythm. There are 3 types of cockroaches in South Korea. The first is the pest cockroach that you all know well. And the other 2 are cockroaches that are half human and half insect with a human appearance. History professors. The other is North Korea, pro-North Korea leftist. And the third one is pro-Japan history professors. They both transform into cockroaches in the midnight. Horrible. That's why they are all over the country. No one can stand up to them. You may not believe it. They are incredibly popular with the female. Korean female like a good-looking professor at the prestigious university, especially Seoul National University, very, very much. We Koreans have an unique habit, peculiar habit, that when they recite the celebrity, they think they're also almost famous. They even mistakenly believe that they are semi-celebrity. What is semi-celebrity? 준공인, 얼추공인. 하하하. This is Korean. I'm so sorry. I'm sad. They are saying that when celebrity calls, crazy female run away without panties on, no underwear, underskirt, even married women. That's why Korean people are trying so hard to become famous. As a result, famous university professors are almost like a god. Even if he is a fraud and wicked person, like no other in the world, he will be forgiven because handsome professor. In the other world, he is cult leader. Especially when he is good looking, believers gather like clouds. There are no panty females afraid with tears in their eyes. Oh, hallelujah. This is South Korea. The story got sidetracked for a moment. I apologize. But this is also my truth. However, the intelligent intellectuals like me who are in the right mind are trying to straighten the distorted history with our eyes wide open. Like this, our nation is horse-riding people who commanded Liaodong and the Liaoxi areas, and you deliberately imprisoned us, the Korean Peninsula. You guys have changed Tianfu, Sanin, Chunbu, Samin of our Dangun myth, Danjun Shuanhua, to their three kingdoms, three kinds of Shenqi, Sanyong Shenqi, Sanshu no Jingi. So what is different between Sam Dangun Shinhwa and Samjong Shingi? Dangun Shinhwa actually sword, mirror, bronze, and in Japanese Sanshu no Jingi, sword, mirror, megatama. Two are the same, and one is different. On the Nihon Shoki, it is difficult to enumerate all of your fabrications of history. And above all, Himiko is also descendant of King Kim-suro. Himiko is said to be a shaman, right? The Princess Myeogyeon, King Kim-suro's youngest daughter, originally had a spirit. When she was young, there was an oracle that said she would build her own kingdom across the sea. Before her, there were 7 older brothers who were pushed out of the crown prince and turned to Buddhism and attained enlightenment, and then went to Japan to spread gospel to an uncivilized barbarian country. Princess Myeogyeon followed her older brothers to Japan. Its fate. As I mentioned before, the Myeogyeon Festival is still held every year November 23rd in Yatsushiro City, Kumamoto, right? The Princess Myeogyeon is King Kim-suro's youngest daughter. Whenever I look at the Myeogyeon Festival, my heart is sad. It's happy and sad. Her granddaughter is the Himiko, one you are talking about. After following her mother's orders and making her own country, she went to her ancestors' country to show off her pride and also to find a husband for her. It means she came to Korean Peninsula once. Honestly, Korean men are more handsome than Japanese men, right? If you were in that position, would you want to kiss above those men, not even for a day or two, every day? It's horrible. It's so heartbreaking to see Imna Japan headquarters fabricated by far-rightists during the Meiji Restoration as an excuse to occupy the Korean Peninsula. Imna Japan headquarters, how much do you pay? How much do you buy? Or how much do you sell per kg? What, from 369 to 562, almost 200 AD, the southern part of Korean Peninsula was an ancient Japanese colony? Bullshit. Then what does that Imna means? Do you even know the meaning and the reciting? If you guys can tell me exactly what Imna means, I will agree with you with the Imna Japanese theory from now on. Actually, you don't know the meaning, do you? Imna is a pure Korean word. So even if it is written in Chinese character, neither you Japanese nor Chinese can understand it. Neither A nor B. Both are wrong, both are fake. Japanese doesn't understand. Not only Japanese doesn't understand, but also Chinese don't understand. I have a master's degree in Chinese language and literature. I also graduated from 5-year Oriental Medical College in China. If my English is at this level, you can guess my Chinese level, right? Imna is a pure Korean word, meaning king's country. Our ancestors who left the Korean peninsula long ago called the country that they left behind Imna. 임금의 나라, king's country. Who are they? A long time ago when Dangun Joseon means Gojoseon, is our first country in what is now Hebei province in China, classified. Refugees from mainland flooded into Korean peninsula. At this time, a conflict between the new and the old forces took place on the Korean peninsula. If an advanced civilization and backward civilization collide, who will win? The indigenous people, Tochangmin, of Korean peninsula, pushed by the power of refugees from Gojoseon, crossed the sea to Japan. These are the first Yayoi people of Japan. They are also the first generation of Koreans in Japan. Dolmen scattered in Kyushu testify to that. Dolmens are landmark of ancient Korea. Dolmen equal Korean. Korean equal dolmen. This is very important historical fact. Dangun Joseon had two great upheavals, Gija Joseon, Chizi Chaoshen, and Weiman Joseon, Weiman Chaoshen. At that time, refugees from the Gojoseon entered Korean peninsula. The enemy was attacking from the west. Where else could they go other than the Korean peninsula from the east? The Korean peninsula was a refuge for people who lost their country. During the Japanese colonial period, the Japanese government General of Korea fabricated that Nangnanggun, Lelangjun, which was established in the capital of Gojoseon by Emperor Wu of Han Dynasty. Was now Pyongyang City the capital of North Korea? Don't be ridiculous. The 점재현 신사 monument, 점재현 신사비, in the Daedong River basin, said to have been discovered in 1913 by Japanese pseudo-scientist Imanishi Ryu, is a fake. Pseudo-scientist is a deceiver, conman, to believe in a tombstone that suddenly appeared one day. If that's true, it's an open plain and all directions, so why didn't the people in that area know about the existence of the tombstone? That is, Imanishi Ryu moved the tombstone from the Changnyeong County, Hebei province, to Pyongan province. Took a picture of frightened local girl because she didn't see it before, next to the tombstone, and fabricated his story. Because it was your purpose to adapt our nation, which commanded Manchu to the historical view of the peninsula. The Han Dynasty army crossed the mountains and crossed the water to finally take over Pyongyang, North Korea. But they didn't come to Busan and just left Korea. Fuck you. Would you not come the old way to Busan and just go back from Pyongyang? How long does it take to ride horse from Pyongyang to Busan? The fact that the Han Dynasty army did not invade Busan is the proof that Nangnanggun, established by the Han Dynasty, is not the Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea. There are not one or two records from Chinese side that the Lelangjun was located in Hebei province. According to the history, The history means 史记 of Sima Qian, 夏文纪 and 太康地志 compiled around the 3rd century AD, also mentioned that Lelangjun was located on mountain Jieshishan, 수이청신, where the Great Wall begins. 낭랑궁 수성현은 만리장성이 시작이 되는 갈석산에 있다 이 말이야. The second generation of Koreans in Japan are the descendants of 고구려, 구다라, 신라, and Gaya, who established numerous branches in Japanese archipelago. The proof is that there are countless purple nouns related of them. In the Japanese archipelago, when the Arabs who went to first kept calling the Korean peninsula Imna, Koreans just called Japanese Imna. In ancient time, the two countries, Korean and Japan, called each other Imna. We said Japan Imna. Japanese people also say Korea Imna. Even now, young Koreans call each other casually, "Hey Imma, yeah Imma." But that Imna actually comes from Imna. I mean Imma, I-M-M-A. Imna, I-M-N-A. Little bit different. Of course, Imma also has the meaning of belittling the other person. That's why you shouldn't do that carelessly unless you are close friends. Close friend, no problem. Imna, Japan, which you refer to, is not the southern part of Korean peninsula, but the entire Japanese archipelago from the broad perspective, and Kyushu or Tsushima from a small perspective. It's very likely to be Tsushima. Not only in Kyushu, but also in Tsushima, there were branches of Goguryeo, Baekje, Silla, and Gaya. In the process of growing in size among the small countries of the archipelago, Yamato took over the branches office of Tsushima. The location of Imna is described in detail in Nihon Shoki, right? In the Nihon Shoki, Sushin, 65 years, Imna is located 2,000 li away from Tsukushi country, northern Kyushu. The north is blocked by the sea and is southwest of Jilin, Gerim. It's the capital city of Silla. It's written on it. The north is blocked by the sea and the southwest of Gerim. If it's not Tsushima, where else would that be? 고구려, 백제, Silla, and Gaya together paid tribute to Japan? Are you kidding now? There's also a strange record that Kudara and Gaya fall prefectures. Sangdari, Hadari, Sata, Moru, there are no like these fucking places on the Korean peninsula. So find them in your country. We don't have Sangdari, Hadari, Sata, Moru. We don't have. And are easy to communicate in the morning, in the evening, and you can hear the chirping of chickens and dogs. Would that be the Korean peninsula or Tsushima? Can you hear dogs barking in Busan, Daegu, in Daejeon, each other? Open the map and see. If not Tsushima, where else? There is also an article like this in the 31st year of Emperor Chugo, AD 623, 7th centuries. In the year Silla subjugated Imna, so Imna must be recovered and turned to Kudara. If Imna is Gaya, as you claim, it contradicts the fact that Geumgwan-Gaya was destroyed 100 years ago in 532, and Daegaya was destroyed in 562. This is a very important historical fact. And it goes against the fact that Gaya has never been a subject of Kudara. So Imna was in Japan, not in Korea. However, Kyushu cannot be completely ruled out. In Kyushu, there are at least dozens of branches of Gaya, and there are over hundreds of place names of Gaya that still remain. Currently, there are a total of 115 Gaya place names remaining in Japan. There are 35 in Kyushu region and 29 in the Seto Island Sea region, 28 in the Kinki region, and 20 on the west coast. I will describe this separately later. As I said before, this is the settlement, the early pioneers. The 7 princes of King Gimsuro first anchored in Kagoshima and opened the country. And as a proof of this, the myth of King Gimsuro's coming down from the sky is reenacted every year on November 10th at Christmas Shrine in Kagoshima, Kyushu. And in Yasushiro Kumamoto, Kyushu, the Myogen festival is held every year to welcome King Gimsuro's youngest daughter, Princess Myogen. Is that it? And all the relics excavated from the site of our ancient tomb in Miyazaki Prefecture, Kyushu, made in Gaia. Aren't you so scared that you start excavating? 99% of Kyushu people are descendants of Gaia. Do you think it was a coincidence that Japanese forced rice farming began in Kyushu? The people who taught you how to grow rice is Gaia people. In other words, Gaia is absolutely not Imna. In Gaia, there is not a single relic, let alone a Japanese tomb. During the Japanese colonial period, Japanese government general of Korea searched the Gyeongnam area, which was assumed to be Imna, and tombs called again ancient tombs were robbed, but there was not a single Japanese-style keyhole tomb. If there were traces of Japan in Gaia, would you guys have stayed still? Imna is not Korea. It is Japan. The third generation of Koreans in Japan arose in the process of Silla unifying the 3 kingdoms. In AD 400, Silla, which was in crisis due to the invasion of Baekje and Yeongsan River Way. Yeongsan River Way is Korean Way. Urgently requested help from the king Gwanggaeto the Great, and the great king himself led an expedition with 50,000 cavalry. The Goguryeo army defeated Kudala and Korean Way camps in an instant and pursued the fleeing Korean Way to the end. At this time, the Korean Way crawled into the territory of Gaia. Since Gaia is the main family of Yamato Way, did they think that they would not dare to throw it away? The Goguryeo army returned home after turning the capital of Geumgwan-Gaia in a mess. Due to this incident, Geumgwan-Gaia almost collapsed and the position of leader of the Gaia Federation passed to Dae-Gaia. In 532, Geumgwan-Gaia finally submitted to Silla after 500 years of resignation. At this time, half of the Gaia people who could not bear the sense of loss made a great nation migration to Japanese archipelago. Japanese steel-making technology is called Datara, is it right? Do you know what Datara means? You don't know, do you? Datara means burn everything in Korean language. In other words, to make iron, you have to burn all the wood. In 663, when even the Baekje revival forces collapsed, there was a second national migration. These are the 4th generation Koreans in Japan. We write Baekje, read Baekje, but you read it as Kudara, right? You probably don't know what the word Kudara means. Kudara is variation of Korean word 큰 나라, big country. You will know how big Kudara is in Japan without me having to explain how much Baekje occupied in Japan. Kudara is big brother in Japan. Numerous geographical names of Gaia, Kudara, Goguryeo, and Silla scattered across the archipelago remain even to explain the past history. The Japanese royal family holds a Thanksgiving festival called Nina Mesai every year on November 23rd at Ise Jingu Shrine to give thanks for the bountiful harvest of the year. It is a festival to offer thanks to Amaterasu Omikami, who is the enshrined at Ise Jingu shrines for the first year of the rice harvested that year. At that time, there is a strange congratulatory message recited by the priest, but Japanese people cannot understand it. Even if you reincarnate 100 times, That strange congratulatory message is pure Korean, my hometown Gyeongsangdo language. Successive emperors have never missed this event. At this time, the priest invited unidentified goddess, Ajime, to call the Korean peninsula, saying, Ajime oge oge. Isn't that an incantation that Japanese people cannot understand? But we Koreans know. By the way, when we read this congratulatory message in modern Korean, it becomes 아지녀 어게 어게. But even I and interactive people cannot understand what it is saying. However, when a Japanese priest read it in old Japanese, it becomes 아지메 오게 오게. So we Koreans can understand it right away. Are there any other strange things like this? What does this amazing fact mean? That Koreans across the sea can instantly understand the meaning that even Japanese priests don't know. This is clear evidence that the old Gaya language was transferred to Japanese Idu. Would you say that the Japanese royal family has no blood relationship with Gaya royal family? If the Japanese emperor is not of Gaya royal family blood, why do you hold the ceremony in Korean Gyeongsangdo language on Thanksgiving Day? We people in Gyeongsangdo still call married women ajime. Now it's ordinary language, but ancient time ajime was something noble woman. What I really wonder is, do the priests at Ise Jingu not know the ajime is Korean, or do they pretend not to know? In this way, there is clear evidence that we passed on advanced civilization to you, but you were undeveloped countries at that time, conquered us. There is a Korean proverb that says that even if your mouth is turned to the side, you must speak straight. Japan was a colony of Gaya. How did Gaya become a colony of Japan? If Gaya was a Japanese colony of Yamato, why did the Japanese government general of Korea burn it down just by looking at the genealogy of the Kim clan? The reason is that they knew that the founding myths of Japan copied the founding myths of Geumgwan Gaya and burned it as they saw it. Did you know it? We didn't know. It was only 100 years ago, so we can't know. Our country's Kim and Kim He know it all. They are brothers from the same belly because King Kim Suro and Queen He Hwang-ok are their parents. Where is the birthplace of Japanese royal emperor family? Isn't the basin of the Saitobaro tumulus in Miyazaki Prefecture in the southern Kyushu? Why is it southern Kyushu? Why not Tokyo? Why not Osaka? As the Gaya princes went to Japanese archipelago by boat from Kimhe, that naturally reached the southern Kyushu. Kyushu in the north is closer to the Korean peninsula, but guided by the unknown providence, the ship landed in Kyushu in the south. Although he is a fictitious character without substance, in the fantasy novel Nihon Shoki, the first emperor Jinmu takes his first step on a long journey in the southern Kyushu, Hyuga country, right? Since the relics from the Saitobaro tombs and the relics from Kimhe, the capital of Geumgwan Gaya, are the same. They must be brothers from the same belly, right? So who is the older brother and who is the younger brother? Are you first? Nevertheless, the unsolved mystery is that the various items excavated from both tombs and are similar, but the tomb styles are completely different. Tomb style of Miyazaki Saitobaro is a keyhole tomb called Jeonwon Gubangbun, but there is no such a strange tomb in Geumgwan Gaya. This is the great mystery of history. If Gaya was ruled by Yamato, why is there no trace of Yamato in Gaya? Among the relics excavated from the ancient tombs in Daesungdong, Kimhe, the capital of Geumgwan Gaya, is there even a single physical evidence of your Japanese domain over Gaya? Why is it in the Yeongsan River basin in the southwest part of Korean peninsula? There is a rather complicated story here. On the Korean peninsula, there was a unique group called Yeongsan River Way. It's Korean way actually, that resembled the Yamato Way. According to the Chinese historian of the Three Kingdoms, San Guozhi, or the Han Dynasty of later Hansu, Hou Hansu, Han means Korea, is in the south of the Taifang-jun, with the sea as its limit in the east and west, and the south bordering on Wei, Nanyu Wojie, and the southern of Wei is Yeongsan River Wei. Perhaps Korean Wei used to Yeongsan River basin as a bridgehead connecting the Chinese continent and the Korean peninsula. Their appearance and behavior were different from ours. Rather, they resembled the Yamato Way across the sea. They placed the body in a coffin. Even several coffins were placed together in one tomb. In addition, there are 18 ancient Japanese-style tombs in the form of keyholes. It's a real surprise. This is homework we have to solve. Actually, there is nothing else to do besides solve it. The answer is already out. They were neighbors with Baekje on the upper side and with Gaya on the side. But strangely, while they were neighbors, they were on good terms with Kudara as well as with Gaya. Originally, when we stick together, we fight to live or die. The reason is because Gaya was the main family of the Yamato royal family, and Kudara was the maternal family. The Yamato royal family brought queens mainly from the Kudara royal family. Even now, in European royal families, queens are brought from neighboring countries. However, the Korean way has always been at odds with Silla. They often invaded Silla border and plundered this guy Don farm. After all, they catch the fish and play to their heart content, and then go on plundering when others harvest grain. Rarely, some of the good guys became naturalized in Silla and lived as a Silla people. Let's have break time.